Let's begin with scene 8. And here in this scene, you will find that, you know, through the conversation between these two friends, Celerino and Celanio, we come to know about so many things. Okay, so it is through the conversation. The action is not performed, but yes, through a conversation between these two characters, we come to know about the development in the plot of the play. Okay, so the scene takes place in a street of Venice. The scene takes place in a street of Venice. So Salarino says, "Why, man, I saw Bassanio under sail." Under sail means set sail when he started his journey. I saw Bassanio set sail. With him is Greciano gone along, and in their ship I am sure Lorenzo is not. He says that I saw Greciano along with him, but I am very sure that Lorenzo wasn't there in their ship, in that ship. So why is he referring to Lorenzo here? Because you see, Lorenzo has eloped with Jessica from Shylock's house, and now later on, Shylock must have come to know about it. And Shylock is under impression that Lorenzo has been helped by Bassanio. Lorenzo must have left in Bassanio's ship only, okay, because they all are friends, they all are Christian friends. So Shylock is under impression that Bassanio as Antonio and Antonio have helped Lorenzo in this way. Okay, and he is highly offended. You may understand that Shylock must be highly offended at this time, because first of all, his daughter has run away, and that too with a Christian, and that too with lot of money. Okay, so of course it is a kind of it is a very difficult situation for Shylock to handle, and he's very angry at this moment. So they both are discussing about it. So Lanyo says, the villain Jew with outcries raised the Duke. With outcries here, you can say complaints. With complaints, raised the Duke. Raised the Duke means, he stirred the Duke to action, who went with him to search Bassanio's ship. But villain Jew, with his complaints, he raised the Duke, and the Duke went with him to search Bassanio's ship. वो खुद Bassanio की ship देखने के लिए गए, whether Lorenzo is there or not, to find Lorenzo. Salarino says he came too late, but the Duke came too late. The ship was under sail. The ship had started its journey, so they couldn't see the ship. But there, the Duke was given to understand, but he was given to understand that in a gondola, gondola is a flat boat, flat bottomed boat, you can say. Okay, it's a boat, kind of boat, gondola, that in a gondola were seen together Lorenzo and his amorous Jessica. Amorous means loving Jessica. So there they were given to understand that Jessica and Lorenzo were seen in a gondola together. They were not in that ship in which Bassanio has left. Besides, in addition to that, Antonio certified the Duke. Certified here means assured the Duke. In addition to that, Antonio assured the Duke they were not with Bassanio in his ship. All right. So the Duke understood that Bassanio has nothing to do with it. Lorenzo wasn't there with him. Lorenzo and Jessica were seen in a different boat, that is a gondola, where they both were together. Solanio says, I never heard a passion so confused. Passion, you can understand like outburst of feeling. I've never heard a passion so confused, so strange, outrageous. Outrageous means excessive, and so variable. Variable is changing. I've never seen a passion changing this much as the dog Jew did utter in the streets. He says, such a outburst of feeling I've never seen in my life earlier, which is so strange, so excessive, so variable. The way this Jew was uttering, the way he was shouting in the streets. My daughter, oh my ducats, oh my daughter, fled with a Christian, oh my Christian ducats, justice, the law, my ducats, and my daughter. A sealed bag, two sealed bags of ducats, of double ducats, stolen from me by my daughter, and jewels, two stones, two rich and precious stones, stolen by my daughter. Justice, find the girl. She had the stones upon her and the ducats. So why is he saying that it is a passion which is so confused and variable? Because from this, what all Shylock is saying, the way he is crying, we are not able to understand whether he is more worried about his daughter or about his money, his ducats and jewels and stones, what all she has taken. Okay, so he is crying like that. Salino says, why all the boys in Venice follow him, crying his stones, his daughter, and his ducats. Even all the boys, they are making fun of him. They are imitating him when he is crying like that. They are imitating him. They are also crying like his stones, his daughters, and his ducats. Solanio says, let good Antonio look, he keep his day. Let good Antonio look, you can say, it's a kind of warning. Take care that he keep his day. Day is the appointed day where he is supposed to pay his debt. Okay. Or he shall pay for this. Otherwise, he will have to pay for this. Now, you see, try to understand the connection between the Lorenzo Jessica episode and the main action. What is the main action? The main action is that bond which Antonio had, with Shylock, because Shylock lent them money. But now, this Jessica Lorenzo episode, it aggravates the situation because the hatred which Shylock had for these Christians earlier, and Shylock was looking for an opportunity to take his revenge. Now, in a way, he has got that opportunity. Now, he has a reason. This episode aggravates the situation. Salino says, Mary, well remembered. Oh, yes, you have reminded me. I reasoned with a Frenchman yesterday. Reasoned here means talked. I talked with a Frenchman yesterday. I was talking to a Frenchman who told me in the narrow seas, you can say the English Channel. All right. In the English Channel, that is the narrow seas, that part means separate, that separate the French and English. So he is telling the geographical condition of narrow seas that separate the French coast and English coast. They miscarried here, you can say, there was wrecked, destroyed. A vessel is the ship of our country, richly fraught. Fraught means laden, loaded, richly laden. So he says, yeah, you have well reminded me. I was talking to a Frenchman yesterday and he told me that in the narrow seas, that is the English Channel that separate the French and the English, there was wrecked a ship of a country and which was richly loaded with things. I thought upon Antonio when he told me, and wished in silence that it were not his. And as soon as he told me this news, I suddenly thought upon Antonio and wished that the ship should not belong to him. It should not be Antonio's ship. Solanio says, you were best to tell Antonio what you hear. It will be good if you tell Antonio what you hear, yet do not suddenly, for because it may grieve him, it may make him sad. But please do not do it at once because it may make him sad. Salarino says, a kinder gentleman treads not the earth means walks not the earth. There is not a kinder gentleman, a gentleman more generous than Antonio doesn't live on this earth. I saw Bassanio and Antonio part. I saw how they, parted with each other, the way they got separated with each other while going to Belmont. Bassanio told him he would make some speed of his return. Bassanio told him that he would hurriedly finish his business there, and he would make speed of his return, and he will hurry up so as to return as soon as possible. He answered, but then Antonio answered to him, he replied to him, do not so, no, you should not do so. Slubber not business for my sake. Slubber not means rush. Don't rush your business. Okay? Do not rush through your business carelessly for my sake, Bassanio. But stay the very ripening of the time. But you should stay there the very ripening of the time until the time is ripe, means until the right moment. You should stay there until the right moment. And for the Jew's bond which he hath of me, and this bond which the Jew has from me, let it not enter in your mind of love. It should not even once enter in your mind of love. Mind of love means mind full of love. Be merry, be cheerful, and employ your chiefest thoughts, your main concern to courtship, and such fair ostents of love. Ostents here means display. You should focus only on courtship and fair display of love, as shall conveniently become you there, because this would be suiting you there. Become you there means suit you there. You are going there to win Portia as a wife. You are going there to woo her. So you should not think about the bond and money and all that, but you focus on your courtship, the way you are supposed to propose her, and your display of love to her, because this is what will suit you there. And even there, his eye being big with tears, because he had tears in his eyes, being big with tears, turning his face. He turned his face. Why? Because he didn't want Bassanio to see that he was crying. He put his hand behind him, and with affection, wondrous sensible means wonderfully sensible, wonderfully tender, he wrung Bassanio's hand. Wrung here means clasped Bassanio's hand. All right. So he had tears in his eyes, but he didn't want to show it to Bassanio. And, with so much of affection and tenderness, he clasped his hand. And so they parted. And in this way, they parted from each other. Salanio says, I think he only loves the world for him. I think he here refers to Antonio. I think Antonio only loves the world for him. Him here means Bassanio. It is only for Bassanio that Antonio loves the world. I pray thee, I request you, let us go and find him out and quicken his embraced heaviness. Quicken means cheer up. Cheer up. His embraced heaviness, you can say the sadness that he has embraced, the sadness that he is having in his heart with some delight or other. So he says, let us go and find him out and cheer him up, because he must be feeling sad. Salino says, do we so? Let us do so. And then they exit.